Sharami. Welcome to my weekly astrology report. Today's June 5th and the Aquarius Moon is shifting and is trining Aries Neptune and Aries Saturn. So that's a little bit of a nice feeling because it's a supportive feeling with Saturn there, helping the Aquarius Moon have some structure and moving forward with Neptune dreaming and being creative. And then on the 6th, the Aquarius Moon is here and still shifting around. And then Cancer, Mercury in Cancer at 8 degrees will be squaring the midpoints of the semi-square between Neptune and Saturn. So basically, with that conjunction of Saturn and Aries at the beginning of the year, they are now 8 degrees apart. Is where Cancer and Mercury is squaring that area. And this is a lot of energy that is pushing through. Saturn has shifted away from Neptune, where Neptune's at 4 degrees and Saturn's at 12 degrees, both in Aries. Cancer Mercury squaring this midpoint is a reality check to see how things are going since we were there meeting up with Neptune and Saturn. Then there were a lot of dreams, there are a lot of ideals, and so now that they have moved away at this far point, Mercury and Cancer is checking in and saying, well, how's that going? How is the work going for this to be occurring? Because now we see that the things that we were dreaming about takes hard work and consistency and longevity, and consistency is one of the biggest things I realized with that as I grew up. Consistency is very big in how people trust you, and that's why Virgos are known to be some of the best workers, because they are so conscientious. And that's Mercury in Cancer right now, is also very conscientious of what is right and wrong, and is very intuitive about these things. And so Cancer here is really checking up on the Aries energy for Neptune and Saturn. And Neptune and Saturn are also making sure that Mercury in Cancer understands what its role is here as Cancer. So on the 7th, the moon shifts into Aquarius, and dreamland gets expanded after that midway conjunction where we're wondering if reality is setting in. And reality is setting in, but it is slowly still trying to get out of the fog of it. And then on the 8th of June, the Aries Moon shifts in. And so the energy changes quite a bit from dreamy, kind of fogginess, not a lot of clarity, to now we know what we want to do and we're going to go for it, because that's what I am dreaming about, is the motto of Aries, is I am. And then on the 9th of June, this is the big thing of the week. The big star of the week is that Venus in Cancer will be conjuncting Jupiter in Cancer at 25 degrees. And as they conjunct each other, which is a very nice two benefics coming together, this is like a huge bonus day for all of us. And it occurring in Cancer will really make us feel heard and validated and supportive. But of course, the opposite of that is too much protection, too much anger about things not going your way here. And it's very emotional, so a lot of stuff could happen here in this day, but personally could be a very good day. Use the energy correctly. And this conjunction at 25 degrees is going to square Aries Eres, which is Mars' sister. And so this conjunction is going to get checked by Eris, saying, Are you being delusional? Do you really have all the things you need? Are you moving in the right direction? Are you being too indulgent? Are you really leaning into this Venus, Jupiter, really just eating too much, enjoying things too much? And then Mercury Cancer is going to square Saturn Aries as it moves along. It gets to where Aries is at 13 degrees and outright squares. It's challenging it to say, are you being delusional or not? Are you working hard? And then the Aries Moon is going to conjoin Aries Saturn completely. And when this happens, there's no longer a dreamy thing about it going on. Now it is reality, in your face. Have you worked for what you wanted? So there's a lot of reality check going on for personal energy, which is good in terms of we need a reality check every now and then. And then on the 10th, there's going to be a T-square that's very karmic that begins with Uranus in Gemini, squaring the Nodal Axis at 2 degrees. And this is an evolutionary karmic point. So Gemini, Uranus is checking in with the North and South nodes, who are always opposite of each other, correct? So they're in Pisces and Virgo at the 2 degree mark because they are getting ready to shift. We are dealing here with some information that will be coming through the ether with Neptune so involved in Aries and having these squares and opposition going on. We really are in kind of a foggy area, and things may not go the way we want all the time. And so we have to really work hard for what we want. Although Neptune help us dream of the things, Saturn will help us make it come true through hard work and structure and stability. And then the Gemini Sun is going to sesisquare Aquarius Pluto. And this is a disruption of long-standing culture, is how I read that. Gemini is the community, rules over the third house of community, of friends, of talking, and ideas that you get from living in your community. You usually have the same kind of ideals. And so this is going to be a disruption to that ideal of what you think it is. And Pluto's going to deep dive into this for a few years, a couple decades actually. So it's going to be something we keep revisiting every time the outer planets and the personal planets come back and have meetings with Pluto in Aquarius. And then at the end of the day, Taurus Moon is going to shift in, and here we're going to have a moon that is calming, and Mars is going to be here as well. Taurus Moon is going to meet up with Mars. So again, Taurus is about luxury, and it's the second house, so rules over your money and how you earn it and how you like to enjoy yourself in terms of food, possessions, things like that. And the motto of Taurus is I possess. Aries is I am. Taurus is I possess. Gemini is I think. So then on the 12th of June, Venus will be squaring Chiron at 29 degrees. And this is Venus in Cancer. Cancer Venus will be squaring Aries Chiron at 29 degrees. And then the moon in Taurus will be conjuncting Mars in Taurus. So here we are dealing with our own personal values and our own journey of healing. As Chiron's at this very end degrees, this square is quite powerful in inner healing. And in the world itself, the world will be dealing with its excesses in terms of what I possess, what I own, what I need to be happy. You need all these things. And the moon with Mars and Taurus is also about our actions, right? Our emotions are right now matching up with our desires, our need for security. And Taurus is a very fixed sign. It is about security. It is very compatible with Capricorn in that way, and Virgo as well. All the earth signs obviously are compatible in terms of wanting to have a secure home, a comfortable home with things you want around you, that you possess, that you enjoy. And jewelry is a big one in Taurus, and everyone loves jewelry, but especially Leo. So Taurus is the 10th house of Leos. And that's why a lot of times you'll see Leos that are rich will have a lot of jewelry and all these things, because Leos love all those luxurious things, having Taurus in its 10th house, where it is exalted in terms of your 10th house is your house of monetary gain and your rewards for a good job, and Capricorn rules over the 10th house. So this week really is about the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer, because Jupiter is preparing to move into Leo on June 30th, but Venus will be moving ahead. Venus and Jupiter is such a good feeling, and it being in Cancer really is helpful. This week's message with Venus and Jupiter conjuncting, meeting up in Cancer, is to beware of being excessive and being gluttonous, eating too much and enjoying too much of the finer things in life, because of that square happening with the moon and Uranus squaring the nodes of fate, karmic energy. There's a lot of karmic energy this week because of Uranus squaring the axis, the line of the north and south node. So we're at that point where we're getting a lot of love and energy from the universe to be happy and to do things that we want to do, but we have to be mindful, because we're in an evolutionary time that's very karmic, very confusing, very quick moving. And this is just a prelude to July, because once July comes in, it's going to really, I'm not kidding you, it's going to be really explosive energy. And a lot of the astrologers like Cam White, they have predicted war. They have predicted a lot of these things that are happening through the chart readings and through their knowledge of all the different planets and all the different things that can happen. And I watch them, I listen to them, and I go look at the chart. But, for me, it's, I go to the astrologers, I listen, but I don't let astrology rule my whole day or my whole life. It's more that it's a good starting point to look at the weather and say, well, hey, it's going to be 90 degrees at 3 o'clock. I better not be out there, right? And that's really, 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 really what astrology is for me. Is I look at the day's temperatures, the day's, how's it going to feel today? Is there going to be a big storm? What should I do? Should I protect my plants? Are they going to get blown away with the wind? So that's what astrology is. And you read your daily, you take it in, and it's in the back of your mind. And then when things happen, it could be like a karmic psychic moment that you realize, oh, this is the moment that clicks in for me with the degrees it's at, how the moon's moving throughout the day. Everything's moving, right? But only the outer planets kind of stay still. And Venus is moving very quickly right now and is passing the sun. But as time goes on, Venus will be retrograding as well. But Mercury went through a cazimi when it conjuncted with the sun earlier this year. And now it is traveling so quick, but it's beginning to slow down because it will have a retrograde period in July. And so this is kind of the fastest we'll have Mercury moving around in Cancer. But in Cancer, Mercury can't move around as much as it wants because it's kind of like, it's swimming around and it's really not a swimmer. It wants to run and fly. So we're really kind of almost getting prepared by Mercury being in Cancer to slow down our minds and to think about our home and what makes us feel secure and loved unconditionally, right? That's part of it. But again, the Jupiter and Mercury could bring out a lot of the dark side of Cancer, which is overprotection. Here's an example. In Portugal, the fascist people, like the ones here in America, had a meeting, a summit, and they're not hiding it anymore. It's called the re-immigration policies or something, where they want to basically do what Nazis do. They're all Nazis, and they basically don't care if you know anymore. And one of their heroes is Bovine. The guy who ran ICE and now is, just a free citizen, who they say, is cosplaying as a Nazi with his long jacket and his murders in Minnesota. So that's kind of what this Jupiter and Venus excessiveness and dangerous and delusional, and really there's no benefit to anyone in the world for this to occur. So there's a lot of that going on, and that's what this Jupiter Venus is saying. That's the dark side of Cancer, is the overprotectiveness, like I've said, of some people I know who lock their kids in their room so they don't come out, so they can have some time alone, or maybe they're protecting their kids from their father. You don't know what goes on in homes. A lot of things happen. And it used to be like, I don't believe that happened, but now we see it is happening, and you can't really pretend it's not anymore. But didn't everyone kind of knew? I mean, the Queen of England knew that she protected her son. So that's really what this week is about, is getting you ready for drought and food famine. With El Nino coming, this could be the hottest year ever. And the way things are going with the U.S. government right now, I really could see a famine. I really could see things going down if the traditional lobbied people in politics still in America, both sides, Republicans and Democrats, they're all guilty of it, is towing the line. I think it's going to be excessive this week. I think that people are really losing their mind. They're fearful. And they feel emboldened to be, violent and rude and challenging you in your face, spitting on you, things like that. So I think that for us all, we should just really focus on our home with Venus and Jupiter. We should focus on the good parts of being in a family and having a house that you have, and feeling grateful for these things that you do have, instead of being fearful of other people. You should focus on yourself and try to be the best person you can, instead of focusing on your fears and pushing people into categories that they don't fit in. So I think that's where we're at, and that is the evolutionary karmic point of Uranus squaring the Nodal Axis of Virgo and Pisces. We need to lean into the Pisces spirituality and unconditional love and the creative part of that. And we need to release the Virgo part of being very critical of others and of ourselves, and lean into the Virgo part of health and understanding. And today, Cam White really explained the Nodal Axis very well. He says that the South Node is like the tail of a fish, and the North Node is like its mouth, where it's headed. So we're headed towards spirituality and nature and art and all these things and culture. And then the tail has to already be intact down in Virgo, and the tail back here is what is steering us, because we've got this going on. And what are we releasing? We're releasing energy through the tail, right? So I thought that was really well. That was the first time I really understood the nodes and in a physical, real life world, how it would move. So thank you for that, Cam White. You should go check Cam White out. He does astrology where he helps you plan out all the situations that are going on, how it affects you in real time for you personally, which is really nice. If you really, it's kind of like a therapist astrology. And like I said, a lot of astrologers are therapists. I'm a mom, so for me it's a mom thing, and where I see it and where I think I can help people that are like, especially around my age or my kids' age, that's what I try to do. So that's it for today. I got started pretty late. I'm really like floating along today, and you're supposed to really be floating along until we get into July 1st, because then that's when you're going to need to have reserves of strength in you to deal with all the chaos. Physically, also, the sun is charging us up and the earth up, and that can really enter your body in a way you feel uncomfortable and you don't really know why. It can give you a lot of energy, or it cannot. But also Chiron is preparing to shift into Taurus, and that's a huge one. Chiron, the personal healer. So there's a lot of things happening that is going to be boop, 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 like that. Like right now, we're already in June 5th, and this is till June 12th. And then we'll be back on June 12th, and then it's halfway through June. And then it's almost Cancer season, and then equinox season enters. When we head into Cancer season on June 20th, that is an equinox occurring. So then now we are boom, 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 boom. That energy is huge, right? So try to prepare yourself as much as you can right now. Like I said last week, but this week I'll say, prepare your body physically, prepare your mind, prepare your emotions. If something was to happen, can you handle what's going to happen? So that's where we're at. That's what we're talking about, is that anything can happen and you don't know what. It could be you win the lotto. It could be something happens, a hurricane comes in, or who knows what, right? Okay, so that's it for me this week. I'll be back next week, and I'm going to be traveling, so my time will be changing, so I'll try to get it out a little bit earlier than this, but I don't know, it might be later than this. So I will also do my dailies next week as well. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next week, and I'm Jody Shirami at astropod_cast at JodyBoots22 on YouTube is where I release this, and you can get it on X and on my Instagram page. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, and take care of yourself this week. Really pay attention to your emotions and stay calm. I'm trying to remain calm myself, so I think that's why I'm so sleepy, because I am trying to remain so calm that I wake up in the morning, so I'm kind of drowsy and I just can't go back to sleep, and that kind of helps me be in a fog all day, so I'm not too hyper you know? So I figure you just follow how you're feeling right now, and that will help you to stay calm and less anxious and less angry. I did so much gardening this morning too, and I was just so tired. I came, I was just like, and it wasn't like it was hard. It was just being out there because it's very hot. All right, talk to you guys later. The Gemini Mercury's still here. Talk to you guys later. Love you guys.